So let's talk about this a little further. The driving force of biological evolution is natural selection. Natural selection is supposed to be the hero. But natural selection doesn't have any power. Watch. It can only prefer the organisms that are already in existence. Did you get that? For natural selection to work, the organisms already have to be there. It cannot produce the organisms. It may, to a limited degree, explain the survival of the fittest if the organisms are there, but it can't explain the arrival of the fittest. They have to already be there. Natural selection is dead unless the organisms are already in place, and then it's natural for a handsome guy to prefer a pretty girl, or a pretty girl to prefer a handsome guy, but there aren't enough of them to go around. So, it goes downhill from there. Natural selection has no force to design and create living systems. It is merely a preference sometime observed among biological organisms already in existence. Natural selection has no energy or no propensity. Natural selection's nothing. The organisms are what make the decision, but it's given the role of hero by Charles Darwin, and there was another gentleman who also made the discovery at the same time. Natural selection, however, has no energy or propensity to propel organisms to a higher complexity. Watch. Instead, natural anthropic processes work against their existing complexity. Now let's pause there a moment. It's a complicated way of saying everything's running down. What is entropy? What's entropy? Entropy is natural in the universe. The best illustration of entropy is a teenager's bedroom. They're coerced to make it up. 3 days later, mother looks in and she's horrified. Everything runs downhill. I look in the mirror. I got a haircut this week because you were coming and I needed to trim off the edges for you. I got a haircut and I looked in the mirror and I said, that's not me. And I asked the barber, have you worked on me before? Yeah. This is you. It is. I think of a 30-year-old guy who played softball, climbed Cheops' pyramid. When I was 29, I climbed Cheops' pyramid. Slight benefits may arise, would ultimately be compromised or eliminated altogether by the constant accumulation of detrimental mutations as illustrated in the declining human genome. I'm going to shock you. How many of you think your grandkids are the smartest that ever was? Better raise your hand. We all think they are. Sure. A team of geneticists has been comparing DNA sequences in succeeding human generations. These geneticists found that some children, and the article went on to say this is quite average, some children have an average of 63.2 more mutations/replication errors than their parents. Mutation expert Alexei Kordovtsov suggests that the accumulation of mutations/replication errors in the human population is causing an increase in genetic disorders such as color blindness, schizophrenia, and autism. He writes, plainly, human DNA sequence quality is relentlessly worsening. And he was not contradicted. Similar results could be inferred in measurable populations of general biological organisms all over the world. Let me say it another way. I've been in Israel 19 times. There was a special project that the Israelis were working on having to do with autism. And they were making marvelous strides in it. So for a while, I worked back and forth with them. And I finally got some statistics. When I first started reading up, 1 in 50 children born today, that was 20 years ago, has some form of autism. 1 in 50. 10 years later, it was 1 in 35. It is now 1 in every 25 children that has some form of autism in the United States. The best medically industrialized country on planet Earth. We have a problem. Where's evolution in all this? Isn't evolution bringing us out of it? No. What benefits evolution or natural selection might provide is lost in entropy. But that's not all. So evolution by natural selection or any other means is devoid of any force to design and create living systems, has no energy or propensity to propel organisms to a higher complexity, and possesses no potential to assimilate information necessary for a cell to function or increase in complexity. Lacking these essentials for scientific investigation, evolution or natural selection, its hero, does not qualify as a scientific theory for life origins or life progressions. It is not observable, it is not statistical, and it's not repeatable